I get to say again, good morning, children of God. I have a message for all of you. Is anyone here ever afraid? Yeah? Yeah, me too, right? Sometimes I'm afraid. I am afraid of storms. I have been ever since I was a little girl, and a storm knocked over a great big pine tree and missed our house by just a little bit. I don't really like snakes or spiders. I'm afraid of them. And sometimes I'm also really worried, right? Like I worry about my kids when I'm apart from them. I worry about my friends at St. Thomas. I'm also worried sometimes that something I do or say or wear will make someone not want to be my friend anymore. There's a lot to be afraid of, and it isn't always fun. It's not fun, ever, to be afraid. In a few minutes, we're going to hear from a letter that John wrote to some of his friends, and his friends were afraid. They were afraid because when they started to follow Jesus, they were thrown out of their communities, and some of their families didn't love them anymore, and their government sometimes persecuted them, like arrested them, and maybe even killed them. And so they were very afraid. And St. John told them to love one another. And then he said this. He said, "There is no fear in love, because perfect love casts out fear." And John believed that the church could be a place where people could come and they would be loved no matter what. That even though there were bad things happening in the world, they could still come to the church and be loved. Now, the truth is that sometimes the church doesn't love perfectly, but one of the things about the church is that we're going to try. And so I want you to know that this place, St. Thomas, is a place where you can come and know that you will always be loved, no matter what. And I know that there are kids in our community who are taking iLearn tests this week, and that they might be worried because there might be storms this week, and you can remember this. There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear. You are loved. Will you pray with me? You can repeat after me. Dear God, help us to love one another as you love us. When we are afraid, remind us we are loved. Amen. Remember that God goes with you everywhere you go.